Hey guys, it's Saga from TechWorks, and it's time to check out the dual cameras on the Mi A2. This year, all smartphone manufacturers have stepped up their camera game, and Mi A2 is trying to defend the legacy of its predecessor, the Mi A1. Just like I did in the unboxing video, I am again giving away one F code for a black Mi A2 somewhere in this video. It will just be flashed for a few seconds somewhere in the video, and it can be used on a first come first serve basis on Xiaomi's website. The vertically placed dual cameras on this phone look exactly like the ones on the Redmi Note 5 Pro. And we all know that design was actually borrowed from the iPhone X. Camera module sticks out quite a bit, and it makes the phone rattle while you place it on any surface, even if you have the case on it. And this is something that you will just have to learn to live with if you get this phone. Primary camera has a 12 megapixel Sony IMX486 sensor with f1.75 aperture and a pixel size of 1.25 micron. Secondary camera has a 20 megapixel Sony IMX376 sensor, again with f1.75 aperture. This sensor uses pixel binning technology to combine information from 4 pixels into 1 pixel, so it captures better images in lower light. You can switch between the lenses while taking images while you are in the manual mode. You can shoot 4K and 1080p videos at 30 fps, and one of the recent software updates added a 1080p 60 fps video mode. There is no optical image stabilization, but the 1080p videos are electronically stabilized. 4K videos are not electronically stabilized. There is a dual LED single colored flash which sits between both the cameras. At the front, you again get the 20 megapixel Sony IMX376 sensor, but with f2.2 aperture. This one also supports pixel binning technology to help you take better selfies in lower light. You also get a dedicated front facing flash, and you can take HDR and portrait mode images with this front facing camera as well. Interface of the camera app is pretty similar to some of the recent Xiaomi smartphones. You get a manual mode where you can adjust all settings like white balance, focus, shutter speed, and so on. You also get a focus peaking option, which is really handy, and you don't see this on many other phones. Within the manual mode, you also have an option to switch between the two lenses. Now before we get to the image and video samples, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the amazing videos coming up on this channel. For the past couple of months, it has been continuously raining in my city, and the weather has been very cloudy. A2 is not waterproof, but I still took it out in this weather so I could take some image samples for you guys. Fortunately, we actually saw blue sky for a few minutes, and I was able to take a couple of pictures. You can see a lot of details in these images, and it also seems to be handling the exposure of the scene very nicely. Good weather did not last for long, and clouds started covering the entire sky again. Light was pretty uneven while taking these images, but the A2 still did a good job of lighting the scene properly. It was extremely windy at the time of taking this picture, but you won't see any motion blur in the tree leaves as the camera did very well to use a faster shutter speed. Even in these overcast conditions, it doesn't make the scene look too dark, so the dynamic range is really good for the phone of this price. Speaking of dynamic range, here are a couple of shots with and without the HDR mode turned on. You can clearly see the difference in these pictures. HDR mode brings up a lot of details from the shadows while preserving the highlights in the clouds. When you're taking pictures outside in bright light, I would suggest you guys to leave the HDR mode enabled. This mode is a bit too aggressive when the light goes down, and sometimes it produced very dramatic looking colors. So I think it is better to leave it off in lower light. These are not the sharpest or most detailed images that I have seen come out of a smartphone, but given the lighting conditions, I would say this camera is doing a pretty good job. It captured good looking and accurate looking colors in almost all lighting conditions. Colors are bright and vivid, but if you want even punchier looking colors, you can increase the saturation or contrast from the camera settings. I'm really glad that Xiaomi has fixed the weird green tint issue that we saw in some of the images from the Mi A1 and even the Redmi Note 5 Pro. The primary camera uses face detection for autofocus, and the focusing speed is very good. Here is an example of that. Once the camera sets its focus, close-up and macro shots are crisp and detailed. These are normal close-up shots and not portrait shots, but you can still see the background being blurred out very nicely thanks to the wide f1.75 aperture. It might take slightly longer to focus in lower light, but be a bit patient and it will grab onto the focus and the resulting images will be really cool. Now coming to the portrait shots, secondary lens is used while capturing these shots and the results are nothing short of amazing. Xiaomi's image algorithm works really well and differentiates the subject from the background very efficiently. Blurring of the background is a bit too aggressive for my liking, and I would have loved to see a blur intensity slider like we see on some of other phones. But the edge detection on this phone is very polished and the overall images turned out very pleasing. Even with multiple people in the shot, this mode does a very good job. Portrait images of non-human subjects turned out to be equally impressive. Just look at how well it differentiates between the subject and the background. I will definitely have to compare this with the Redmi Note 5 Pro and the Mi A1 to see how it performs against the portrait mode of those cameras. But when we look at these images individually, they look really good on their own. I actually think that these images are at par, if not better than few of the flagship smartphones. Moving to the lower lighting situations, it continues to capture good colors. These images were captured just after the sun had gone down, and the Mi A2 still managed to capture a lot of light. While you are in auto mode, by default, the phone uses primary camera for capturing all these images. But for lower lighting situations, you can manually switch to the secondary lens from the manual mode. According to Xiaomi, this is the ideal lens for lower light. Image algorithm keeps noise level under control for the most part, but some of the images are not very sharp or most detailed in these lighting conditions. Since there is no optical image stabilization, shutter cannot remain open for a long time to capture more information. But the good thing is, most of these images look good as long as you don't zoom in and try to pixel peep on them. While taking portrait shots in lower light, secondary lens is used to capture the main subject and the primary lens is now gathering the background information. This results in good looking portrait shots even if the light is low. The 20 megapixel front facing camera can take sharp and detailed selfies. These images are crisp, show good colors, and thanks to the HDR mode, offer a very good dynamic range. This camera also uses the pixel binning technology, resulting in better low light shots compared to other smartphones in its price range. Just like with most of the other smartphones, you can take portrait images with the front facing camera as well. These images are sharp, bright, and the blurring algorithm again does a very good job of differentiating the subject from the background, even if you have multiple people in the shot. Some of the shots from the front facing camera show a bit overexposed highlights, but you can easily tap on the image and adjust the exposure to your liking. It delivers good looking portrait selfies in lower light as well. And you also have a front facing flash if you are taking selfies in lower lighting conditions. Video sample from the front facing camera of the Mi A2. It was very cloudy and extremely windy, so most of the audio from this clip is unusable, but you can still see the stabilization, exposure, and the colors that it captures. You can shoot 1080p videos at 30 fps. These videos are super smooth thanks to electronic stabilization. One of my biggest gripe with the Mi A1 was that the videos from it were really bad, and I am so glad that Xiaomi has fixed that issue with the Mi A2. You can also shoot 4K videos at 30 fps with the native camera app, but these videos are not electronically stabilized. You also have the option to shoot 1080p slow motion videos. Till now, we saw over 60 image and video samples, and we can definitely say that this phone is a worthy successor to the Mi A1, at least in terms of its camera performance. At the price of 17,000 rupees, Mi A2 offers you an excellent set of cameras. Looking at all these image and video samples, what are your thoughts about the camera on the Mi A2? Let me know in the comments. I will be comparing the camera on this phone with a lot of other phones in coming days, so just keep an eye out for those videos. That is it for this video, guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.